Hello, it's Alex, the Bookubus. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a book haul, and it's been a few months since I have done a book haul video, so this is the accumulation of books since the last one, which I think was March, April time. And yeah, I found these at a mixture of places and some I received, and yeah, let's just get into it. First up though, I did want to mention I just finished this today. This is a ghost doily that I crocheted recently. It's been a lot of fun making, even though I have made some mistakes along the way and had to backtrack. There are probably still some mistakes in there, but I'm still really pleased with it. It's the first time I've crocheted anything this fine, using a fine thread. So anyway, just thought I would mention it. And yeah, this is clearly a little bit of a different format to my usual videos, but I was in the mood to film something, but I wasn't really in the mood to get in front of the camera, so I figured I would set this up instead and we would get going. And I've been trying to start filming for a little while now, but there were just constant noises. Either my dog is making noise or like neighbours outside are making noise, and I can't wait for there to be a quiet moment because there probably won't be one, so we're just going to go with it, and I will apologise for the background noise. Anyway, let's get into the books. So first off is a book that I actually won in a giveaway. This is Beautiful Grotesque, edited by Sam Richard, and I was the very happy winner of a giveaway hosted by the one and only J Maddox at J Maddox Entertainment. And yeah, I entered the giveaway and was really stoked to win. This is a short story collection. I think there are 5 different authors in here. And yeah, I'm a big fan of weird punk books, so I am looking forward to reading this one. And I believe all of the stories are, let's see, inspired by this piece of artwork. So yeah, sounds good to me. That is Beautiful Grotesque. Amazing artwork on the cover as well. Okay, next up are a few books I found in thrift stores a couple of months ago probably. I was particularly happy to find a copy of The Hour of the Ox Undead by Charles L. Grant. He is an author known for his quiet horror, and I really like a bit of quiet horror, so he's an author I've really been wanting to check out. I think so far I've only read a short story of his, but I really liked it, but I have never come across any of his books in the wild. And yeah, found this one in a Goodwill, and I believe he has a series of books set in the same kind of place, but as far as I know they are standalone stories, so you don't have to necessarily read them in publication order, although this one is the first one. So either way, I'll be starting at the beginning, which I'm pretty excited about. And yeah, what a great cover, and love that typography. And I also found a copy of The Inhuman Condition by Clive Barker. I also have In the Flesh in the same edition, so yeah, I was really happy to find this one. There was some damage to the cover here, which is a bit of a bummer, but what can you do? And yeah, this is a short story collection, and yeah, love Clive Barker, so this was a no-brainer to pick up and add to my collection. And then also in the same trip, I found a copy of Death Day by Robert Neville, which is a pen name for the British writer Sean Hudson, I believe. And yeah, this one is just such a badass cover. The medallion here is metallic gold, and then yeah, we've got this awesome big title on the spine, and this one just sounds like a lot of fun, so I am happy to have it and excited to read it. And let's see what else we have. One more vintage title. There are some more to come, but I don't know, I'm being OCD about this and like going through the books in the order I got them. which doesn't make any difference, but that's what I'm doing. Anyway, my husband actually found this copy of Necroscope 5, Dead Spawn, by Brian Lumley for me. There was a library I think he passed while he was out and about, and they had like a, I don't know, a table or a shelf of books outside for free, and he naturally popped by to have a quick look. And yeah, he picked this one up for me thinking it might be my kind of thing, so that's awesome. It is kind of coming apart from the binding there, but it's still alright and still totally readable. I already have books 1 and 2 in the series, but haven't read them yet. I have been meaning to start it because I've heard really great things about the first Necroscope book, but it is a bit of a chunker, and I think that's what's been putting me off, but I know I shouldn't let that dissuade me from giving it a read sometime. It's a vampire story, if you hadn't guessed. And yeah, anyway, that is that. So next up, I was contacted by the author J.R. Hamantashen, who is an author I have read before. I read another short story collection of his, which is this one, a deep horror that was very nearly awe, with this mad, crazy cover art. I love it. And yeah, I think it was probably a couple of years ago that I read that collection and really enjoyed it, and he recently got in touch with me to let me know that he had a new short story collection coming out and asked if I would like a copy to read and review, to which I said yes. So here it is. This is You Know It's True by J.R. Hamantashen, and this is the paperback edition. Very cool artwork, and having enjoyed some of his previous work, I am looking forward to giving this one a read sometime. Okay, next up, I received a box of books from a friend who was getting rid of a few things, and she very kindly sent them my way, thinking I might be interested, and yes, I was definitely interested. So in no particular order, we have England Screaming by Sean Hogan. This is a really nice hardback edition, and I think this book only just came out last year maybe, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, really love the artwork by Graham Humphreys, who is known for horror poster art. And this is an interesting sounding one. From what I understand, this is a piece of fiction, and it uses well-known horror characters and places them like in the same world with each other. And so the story is about, I guess, how, you know, certain characters interplay with each other, if that were a possibility. So yeah, I am really curious about this one. And she also sent my way a few more vintage horror titles. This one is The Little Wax Doll by Nora Lofts, which is a reissue of a title originally published as The Devil's Own by Peter Curtis. And it says this is a novel of modern witchcraft. Got to love that cover. Pretty amazing. I mean, there's quite a lot going on. You might not notice it at first glance, but there's kind of a lot going on, and there's like these people writhing around in the corner there. So yeah, other than that basic witchcraft angle, I don't really know too much about this one, but a quick glance at the back makes it sound like a woman moves to a small village and creepy stuff happens. So yeah, I'm always down for that kind of story. So excited for that one. I've also got The Dracula Archives by Raymond Rudolph. Don't know why I had trouble with that one. I forgot how to talk. Anyway, love this cover as well. This incarnation of Dracula, and we've got this dripping blood rain going on in the background. So yeah, this one says who was or is Count Dracula. So yeah, I'm assuming this is just a kind of Dracula spin-off, and looks like it could be fun, and red edges, nice touch for a vampire book. Next up is The Crawling Dark by Pauline Dunn. This one says they laid their eggs of evil and hatched their horror on innocent flesh, which sounds like a good time to me. This is a Zebra title, and yeah, I haven't read anything by this author before, but I'm intrigued. I know Zebra titles can be a bit hit or miss, but yeah, there's only one way to find out, so I'll give this one a go at some point. Then also, next up is a copy of Shadow Play by Michelle Spence, A Game of Death and Only the Children Know the Rules. I have read one other Michelle Spence novel, which I believe was her only other novel, called Rebecca Moon, and really enjoyed it, so I am looking forward to this one. I do actually already have another edition of this, which I figured I would grab and show alongside. They both give a pretty different vibe, other than the creepy children angle, but yeah, I am always interested in different editions of books, so I am, yeah, definitely not mad about having two copies of this. So yeah, looking forward to this one. And let's see what else we have. I have a few copies of these titles from Bruce Coville's Chamber of Horrors series. We've got Amulet of Doom, Spirits and Spells, and Eyes of the Tarot, and I believe these are standalone stories, but I guess they're like within a similar kind of vibe, so they were published in a series called Chamber of Horrors. And there is a fourth title that was released in this series, which is Waiting Spirits. I have this already in a different edition because a couple of these titles were released in the Dark Forces series like this one, and I think a couple were released in the Twilight series. But either way, I don't mind them not being, you know, the same kind of covers. I'm excited to read them either way. And yeah, if you hadn't guessed already, these are vintage YA titles and they look like a lot of fun, so I'm really happy to have them. And then last up for the care package from my friend is this ginormous one, this really big hardback book, The St. James Guide to Horror, Ghost and Gothic Writers. So yeah, pretty much exactly what it says on the tin, and it is split up into different authors and talks a little bit about who they are and, you know, their kind of biography and their bibliography. And yeah, this just seems like a really interesting one to check out. And even though this came out quite some years ago, I still find this stuff really interesting. And yeah, this might lead me on to some new to me authors, which I'm pretty excited about. But yeah, so this is a really cool find, and yeah, got to love a bat on the cover. You really can't go wrong with a bat on the cover. Hello, slight change up. It's Alex from the future who remembered a couple more books that I'd forgotten to grab when filming the haul video. So I figured I'd just shoot a little extra bit and insert them in seamlessly. So this is a little group of books that I found online, and they're just these wee little things. They're each one short story, about 60 pages each, and they're called Double Fastback Horror. And this was something I'd never heard of before, but I believe they're for like reading comprehension in, you know, schools and other, you know, places of learning. And, you know, you would read the short story and then you'd have this little card with some questions about it. And yeah, I guess they did different genres, one of them being horror, so naturally that was the one that I stumbled upon and decided to grab. And yeah, I just love the design of these. I think they're really cool. And yeah, so we have Coming Home by Karen Liberator. Love this cover with the creepy doll and the candles. I just love that. And that is the back. And then we have The Dollhouse by Janet Lorimer. Can't go wrong with a creepy dollhouse. Then we have Funhouse. Whoops, sorry about the glare there. Funhouse by Ken Girard. And it took me a second, honestly, to realise what the cover picture was here. But it's like a roll of tickets and a snake. So yeah. And yeah, that one sounds fun. No pun intended. Another Ken Girard. This is Weekend Vacation. And last but not least, Fast Forward by Janice Green. And this one is obviously VCR related, so pretty psyched for this one. But yeah, I just thought that was like a fun find, something I hadn't, you know, heard about or seen before. So yeah, wanted to make sure to show them in this whole video and see if any of you guys were familiar with these, or, you know, any of the others. I know there are more out there, but these were just a few that I found. In fact, I think there is a horror one by Richard Lehman, so that's pretty cool. And I think there were some other non-horror ones that he wrote for other of these like fastback line. So yeah, back to the rest of the video and the books that I found. And yeah, I'm now able to show you my doily in its final form. I blocked it the other day. It's probably still a bit wonky, so I could always do it again, but yeah, blocking it just helps kind of keep the structure of it a bit better. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. So yeah, it's going to be spooky doily season all year round. Okay, and then last up are a handful of books that I found more recently. I think it was last weekend I went out to a couple of thrift stores. Yeah, I haven't been thrifting as much, maybe going out maybe once every month or two, but hitting up, you know, a couple stores each time. And yeah, actually had some pretty good luck on my most recent jaunt. I found this hardback, Stranger in the House by Patricia J. MacDonald. I hadn't heard of this one, and I think this is probably more of a thriller than strictly horror, but it still just looked cool, and yeah, had to pick it up, really. I mean, look at that little kitty, who could resist? So yeah, this might be an interesting one. And then this anthology, London After Midnight, a tour of its criminal haunts, which is a mystery anthology edited by Peter Haining. And yeah, we've got stories by Agatha Christie, P.D. James, Graham Greene, and others. And yeah, just a really cool edition. And I lived in London for several years, so I'm somewhat familiar with it. And it's definitely a great setting for a good mystery story. So this looks like a fun collection. I found a copy of Ratman's Notebooks by Stephen Gilbert, and I know this was adapted into a movie called Willard, which I think was also remade. I have seen the remake, which stars Crispin Glover. I saw that years ago, so I only have a vague recollection of it. I just remember him and rats. Don't remember too much else, quite honestly. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I thought this was a really cool edition. And it seems to have pretty good reviews. When I added it on Goodreads, I noticed it has generally a fairly good rating. So yeah, I might have to give this one a try sometime. I found this hardback copy of Revival by Stephen King, and yeah, I love this cover with the kind of holographic design, and otherwise a really simple cover, but I actually don't hate this one. Like, I know most covers nowadays are just text and it's just super uninteresting, but I think this one works in its simplicity, and then yeah, the holographic stuff just adds that little bit extra. And yeah, I'm not like a huge Stephen King reader. I just feel like, you know, some of his stuff I've really enjoyed and then some not so much. But this is one of his more recent ones that I have heard really good things about. And I honestly don't know too much about it, but I must have heard something that intrigued me ages ago, and so it stuck in my mind. And yeah, when I saw this copy, I think it was like $1.50 or something, and it's in really good condition. I figured I would be a fool to not snap it up there and then. So yeah, really happy to have that one and look forward to giving it a read one of these days. And yeah, we just have a few more books to get through. Last up are 3 vintage horror paperbacks. We have Summer of Night by Dan Simmons, and this is one I always hear good things about. It's a good coming of age story, and you know, it's compared to Stephen King's It and such like. And I think I did have a copy of this, a different edition, ages ago, and then I remember hearing the author kind of be a real dick to Greta Thunberg, and I was just like, yeah, that's not cool. And so I had a couple of his books on my shelf that I hadn't read yet, and I just ended up donating them. So anyway, I honestly wouldn't have picked this up again if it wasn't this particular edition, but I do think this edition is really pretty, and yeah, it has this really lovely step back art. So I figured, okay, I'll make an exception. And yeah, since I now have a copy, I probably will try and give it a read one of these days. So that is that. And I also found a copy of Fairy Tale by Raymond E. Feist. This is, as it says on the cover, a dark fantasy, but I think I have heard other horror fans talk about this one, so we will see. But really cool cover, and this was like a really great condition copy that I found in a thrift store, so yeah, couldn't leave that behind. So was really happy to find it, and yeah, intrigued to give that one a read sometime. And then finally, just one more book that I found is Midnight Sun by Ramsey Campbell. And he's an author I've read a couple of novels by and a couple of short stories by, and yeah, I've so far really enjoyed his work, so whenever I see any of his other books out in the wild, I snap them up. And this one is a little bit beat up, but it's all good. It's still totally readable, so that's fine by me. And I'm just noticing that this is set in a village called Stargrave, so already, yeah, count me in for that. Sounds good. So yeah, that is the book haul. That was everything I have acquired over the past couple of months. Pretty excited actually with all of my finds and books that have been sent my way very kindly. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully the format worked okay. yeah, just kind of set this up and hoped for the best really, but let me know what you think. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!